time that I was behind a buddy of mine. He had a 1970 Dodge Charger with a 440. It was automatic. And it probably had like 308 gearing in there. And at school, we actually had a smoking area where everybody would hang out and then the cars would cruise by. It was all day long. Procession of cars, and whoever had the cool cars, you know, when they're off hours, they'd cruise by there. They'd do a burnout, and everybody would think you were Joe Cool if you did a good burnout. Well, because we hung out at the gas station, he was going through tires so fast, a lot of times on our off hours, we could pull in, the guy at the gas station would just quit working on what he was doing, and we could lift the car up. We took the tire off, and you'd be on the machine and zip one tire off, put another tire on, and every time they did tire changes on people, they saved them for him, you know, that were his size, because he would just melt tires off every day. And one day we come alongside this SC Rambler, red, white, and blue, you know, and it's half the size of this Dodge Charger. And the guy revs his engine a little bit, and my buddy's got automatic, so it's torqued up, and the lights turn green. And we sat there and spun the wheels, and this guy was 2 blocks away from us by the time we got through the intersection. And he's going, "That's it, I'm buying gears." And at the time, there was a place called Gradient Auto Supply, and we waited for that rear end section. It was an 8 3/4 rear end. So in the meantime, he buys these gears. We put headers on it, a torquer manifold, 850 carb. Then this guy was parting out his little Dart that he had all built up, and we got the Hemi 4-speed and the whole clutch pressure plate and flywheel and a vertical gauge shifter. So we work on it one weekend, and we get this thing all together, and he's going to take it to the place to do a burnout. And I says, "I want to be behind you and see how this thing works," because we set this pinion snubber on a Dodge. There is no traction bars or anything. There's just a hunk of rubber that hits a brace in the floor, and it just stops the rear end from crawling up. Oh, and he had big N50s in the back and skinny little ones up front. It was really a cool looking car. Well, I was telling my partner here that when he nailed it, I had 90-10 shocks up front too. When he nailed it, this thing just launched. Because 48 gears, it's like a tractor when you got a big block Chrysler. I mean, we did cruise around at 45 miles an hour. Then you'd have to open up the hood and let the heat out. But I'm watching this thing, and when it took off, the leaf springs just bang, like this, and the cloud of rust that came out from between the leaf springs was just a cloud that fell to the ground. And later on, you know, I get back up to the garage where we had done all this work, and he goes, "What did it look like?" I says, "It looked awesome, but the leaf springs left a cloud of rust," because previous to that, they never got much of a shock load. All they had was skinny little tires and 308s. It doesn't do much, but as soon as you start changing and having gears and tires and more traction, you know, things happen fast.